another video of Vibing with Via. So today is the last Sunday in the Lenten season and I'm going to be making up some saltfish fritters. So I have some saltfish here that is soaking. I'm not going to be using all of this. I'm just taking a piece of it. I'm going to boil it very quickly because of course it's overly salty. Here we have 2 pieces of the saltfish that's on the fire now. I am boiling this in a little bit of vinegar water because in case you didn't know, vinegar actually cuts salt, okay? So I'm allowing this to basically scald for maybe like 15-20 minutes and then I'm going to prep it for the fritters. So while that's happening on the stove top, I have gone ahead and I have diced some bell peppers. You can use multiple colors if you have that. I only have green, so I'm using the green ones. I am also going to be adding a little bit of scotchy. That looks like a lot. No, well, the heat is important to us. So the scotch bonnet pepper is here. I've also diced those. And I'm in the process now of dicing or onions, white onions, right? I can also put a little bit of scallion in it. I think I'm going to do that just for added flavor, right? So it's a simple procedure. I just turn it sideways like this first and foremost. And then, okay, let me just go all the way through. I could have cut them smaller. And I'll just do this. Rough chop. Now remember that I'm an amateur chef, okay? So all the excitement that you probably would have seen on, let's say, like the food channel and so, you won't find that here, at least not yet. Until I go to school and become certified, right? But for now, that's what it is. The onions are ready. And I'm going to get the scallion and I'm also going to get the thyme. So a little bit of subsistence farming is good. What's this? This shouldn't be in there, but anyway, the scallion that I'm going to be putting in my fritters is actually from my side garden at my home. So it is fresh scallion, as you can see. I've just plucked up one. Don't mind the section here that looks a little bit dried. I actually need some dry bush to put around this so that the stalks in itself can be a lot bigger. I have other things too. Look, here's a big scallion coming up between some French thyme. And I also have some marjoram. Show you. I need to do a little bit of weeding, but there goes the marjoram. Yep. All right, so we have the thyme here. There are 2 ways in which you can do this. You could just simply take a knife and remove it like this, or an easier way is just to use your finger, oops, and push against it to remove the little leaves from the stem, just like that. All right, so there you have it. That looks like enough thyme. Let's put this together over here nicely. All right, so from the side yard garden, I do have some scallions and I'm just going to be chopping them this way, diagonally. A lot of scallions, but it's going to be giving this fritters nice flavor, and what I love is that it's actually fresh. So some persons would do this, right, just to keep the fingers out of the way. For me, my hands are just too small to do all of that fancy, so I just try to be extra careful, and I will work slowly just to ensure that it comes out the way that I want it to. Remember, everybody is a chef, you know. Doesn't matter how you do what you're doing, as long as the end result is good and the people you're giving it to are happy. That's all that matters. All right. Uh-oh. Took a bit of time. Some scallions. So those are my ingredients for my fritters. They're all prepped, ready to go. All right. So waiting on the saltfish. We're going to go ahead and make the batter shortly. Alright, so our saltfish is ready, so we're going to go ahead now to make the batter. I am going to be using 1.5 cups of flour, and in fact I'm going to be making 2 different types of fritters. Alright, so separate from that, now I'm going to be adding some water. Adding the water to the mix. And while I'm doing that, just going to be whisking it around to look at the consistency of the mix. Now, as you can see, this is definitely too thick, so it needs some more water. All right, so really want to eyeball this as much as possible. Whisking this around to get the flour and the water incorporated. Some persons would use a wooden spoon, that's fine. I like using a whisk. Alright, so our saltfish is ready. Adding the saltfish to the mixture. Now notice that my saltfish pieces are not overly small because I want you to be able to taste the fish once you bite into the fritters. Now gonna be adding a little bit of white pepper to the mix. Not too much. A little bit of white pepper, and I'm also gonna be adding, for color, some paprika. Not a lot. And this is the main mix, and I'm gonna be showing you two different types of fritters actually. So let's just whisk this around to get it incorporated. I don't need to add any salt because the saltfish has a little bit of salt. Alright, so we're on to our next step, and that involves just getting all our ingredients now into the batter. So I'm going to be adding what are we gonna do? Just gonna incorporate all of this into the batter. So it's well seasoned, yeah? Well spicy. That's the way we like it. Every bite should have some of the ingredients that were added here. Good. Consistency is nice. Big, thick fish pieces. Who's ready? Because I'm ready. All right, so while this is chilling out here, the next step of the game is to, of course, get the oil going on the stove top. We have our oil that's in our frying pan and it's heating up. We know it's almost ready because we can see the little bubbles that's forming right there. So just about 2 minutes more and then this is good to go. Meanwhile, our batter is here and I'm going to be using a spoon basically just to get the amount that I need, about this per fritter, okay? This is gonna be good. Can't wait. There's a way to test if oil is hot if you don't know how else, and that is to put a bamboo skewer in it, and once you see this happening, then you know that the oil is actually hot. It's ready to go. Want to allow that to set a little bit before going in with another. Don't want them to be overly big. As I said, I'm hoping to get a lot from this little batter that is there. But the size is important, okay? Let's drop the other one. And the key to dropping it is to ensure that the batter starts frying just a tad bit on one side before doing it. Also, I could put in a third, but I don't want to overcrowd the pot because, of course, the more things that's added to the oil is the lower the temperature is gonna fall and the longer the frying process, etc., etc. So it's best just to keep it minimal and then keep it going, and once it's cooked through, you just go through the rounds. All right, so I won't bore you with this. I show you what it's like when I flip it. You know when one side is done, because pretty much you're going to be seeing the fritter doing exactly what's happening on this side. When I find a pointer, I'll show it to you on screen. Because you notice it's now moving in the pot where the oil is concerned. That tells you that that side is already done. I have flipped the first two that I added, and notice it has a little golden brown color. It could be darker if you like, but one of the things about frying is that while you're frying, the color might not look as golden brown, but once you take it out of the oil and it sits and it starts to cool, you're going to recognize that it's actually darker than what it appears to be like in the pot. So we're just still going through the cooking process for these, and yeah, as soon as I take out the first batch, I'll let you see what that looks like. So the first set is actually out. That's what it looks like. I'm now gonna go in with dropping my second batch. Alright, so one of the things that you would have observed with me making these fritters is that I did not add any tomatoes to the mix. That's deliberate because tomato tends to spring water. That's not what we like here. So going that route would not work. So I'm dropping the second one. Notice what I've done. I ensure that all the batter is just in a particular position. Remember that we're not frying this at high heat. We want to keep it as low as possible so that the batter can be cooked all the way through. Drop in the second. As neat as possible. And this can definitely take a third. Uh-oh, exactly what I didn't want to happen. And I'm gonna see how best I can get that attached to one that was already there. Uh-oh. Or just simply just take it out, because that part is gonna cook real quickly and you don't want it to start smoking once it's done. I think I could take another one in my pot, a fourth one, because they're pretty small. Again, the idea is not to overcrowd the pot because, again, you don't want the temperature to drop too low. Alright, so that's going to do its thing. So I'm on the final batch for the regular fritters. So another thing you needed to observe is that in making these fritters, I wasn't doing anything like adding baking soda, baking powder, all that kind of stuff that people will add. I personally don't like it that way. I like my fritters to just be, you know, I don't know how to describe it. It's just not too chunky, not too puffy, not too airy, not too, it should be light and tasty, but not all of that jazz that you see going on. It's not cocktail fritters that I'm making, and I don't like when they're overly big. So I'm gonna be doing something a little extra, a little different now. I'm adding a bit of ginger powder to the mix here, and you'll soon see why. You know, I put ginger in almost everything that I make, right? Because I always say there's no room for bellyache. But I'm also going to be adding just a tad bit of curry powder, and this is hot Indian curry. Okay, that should be it. And I'm also going to be adding, look, some sweet corn to the mix. Not a lot. And this is what I'm going to be using to do the final batch. And of course, I'm just going to be whisking this around. You should smell this. It smells really good. The scent of the curry. Oh my goodness. Alright, so I'm mixing this around here, guys, just to ensure everything is incorporated. It smells really good. That curry scent, to die for. Alright, so this is our corn fritters. They're doing their thing. Stove is low. So I want to show you this when it's done. It's supposed to have a really nice color, but it smells good. The scent of that curry and ginger, oh my goodness, to die for. While our last batch of fritters is doing its thing, we're just gonna go through and make I'm gonna be using an ice cream scoop, not scoop, spoon, because it's small, but we're gonna be making 2 sauces for our fritters. So one, I'm gonna be using ketchup. This is the Heinz tomato ketchup. It's tasty, not a lot. And I'm going to be adding some mayonnaise, and this one has medium chili in it. It's the Bats brand. This is straight out of London, England. Medium heat, okay? So I'm going to be adding just a tad bit to the mix. That should be it. And simply put, I'm just going to be whisking this all the way around. Get everything incorporated. Not a lot, as I said. You know, I like to just eat my fritters as it is, but just in case anybody needs a little bit of sauce, this is good to go. Now the worst thing is that I've made the sauce in the same container that I intend to plate it in. So it's going to be a little bit messy on the sides. If not, I'm going to have to clean this all up, okay? But the bottom line is that's what that sauce looks like. This is going to be my fave Heinz yellow mustard. And I do have some honey. And I'm going to be pouring in some honey to this just to make honey mustard sauce. Quick and easy, nothing too extra. Want it to be kind of sweetish. That's it. And same treatment. Just gonna whisk this around. Honey mustard sauce, quick and easy, right? That's it. Use what you have in your pantry. Nothing too extra, nothing too overly fancy, right? Just tasty, quick and easy. All right, so that's it for sauce. I'm getting ready to plate. This is the finished product. It's plated. To the left of the screen, you will notice that I have my regular fritters, and to the right, I have the corn fritters, okay? Both of them are loaded with saltfish pieces, and of course, I have two sauces that I'm working with. I have a honey mustard sauce, and I just have what I'm gonna be terming as an aioli. It's just a spicy mayo with some tomato paste, tomato ketchup. Mix that all together. Two sauces for two different types of fritters. Bon appetit. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and most importantly, if you have not yet subscribed, you need to subscribe. And if you subscribe already, guess what? Turn on your post notification bell. It's located to the top right hand section of the screen so that you will be notified every single time I post a video. This smells so good. I cannot wait to dig in. Thank you so much for watching.